What makes Christmas special? Christmas is one of the most loved holidays in the United States, but what makes it truly special is the way it combines so many different feelings at the same time. It is a holiday that speaks about peace, kindness, and the birth of Jesus, someone who lived a simple and humble life. Yet Christmas is also full of bright lights, decorated streets, busy stores, and endless advertisements. It is a time of quiet family moments and loud holiday music playing everywhere you go. This contrast may seem unusual, but it is exactly what gives Christmas its charm. It brings together ideas that normally do not fit together, like deep spirituality and joyful celebration, or calm reflection and energetic shopping traditions. People enjoy spending time with their families, but they also enjoy choosing gifts, baking holiday treats, or watching Christmas movies. Christmas feels warm and emotional, but it also feels exciting and fun. It is both a personal holiday and a public one, celebrated privately at home, but also shared in schools, shops, and entire cities. This mix of old traditions, modern customs, and strong emotions is why Christmas continues to feel magical for so many people. It reminds us of what is important, but it also lets us enjoy simple pleasures. In this way, Christmas becomes not just a holiday, but a special time of year when people slow down, come together, and create memories that stay with them for a lifetime.
Chapter 2. Christmas Before It Was Christmas. Long before Christmas became a Christian holiday, winter was already a very important season for many ancient cultures. People did not understand the world the way we do today. There were no scientific explanations for the changing seasons, no weather reports, and no electricity to light long, dark nights. Because of this, winter felt both mysterious and frightening. Days grew shorter, nights grew longer, and temperatures dropped. People worried about food, warmth, and survival. To bring hope into this difficult time, many cultures created winter festivals filled with fire, feasts, and symbols of life. These celebrations existed thousands of years before anyone had heard the name Christmas, but they shaped the holiday we know today in surprising ways. One of the most famous ancient winter festivals was the Roman holiday called Saturnalia. It was held in late December to honor Saturn, the god of agriculture and wealth. During Saturnalia, the normal rules of society were temporarily reversed. Masters served their slaves, people wore bright and unusual clothing, and gambling, which was normally not allowed, became common. Friends exchanged small gifts like candles and clay figures. The entire city came alive with food, music, and jokes. Saturnalia was a joyful break from the strict Roman lifestyle, and its spirit of celebration influenced many later Christmas traditions, especially gift-giving and festive gatherings. At the same time, people in Northern Europe, Germanic, and Celtic tribes celebrated a winter holiday known as Yule. Unlike Saturnalia, much of Yule's meaning is mysterious because these cultures did not leave many written records. However, historians believe that Yule was centered around the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. People lit huge Yule logs and kept them burning for days. Fire symbolized the returning of the sun and the hope that light would eventually defeat winter's darkness. Families gathered to share special meals, sing songs, and tell stories.
Many of the evergreen plants used at Yule, such as holly, ivy, and pine, were seen as symbols of life that continued even through winter. These plants later became common decorations for Christmas. As Christianity spread across Europe, church leaders noticed that people were strongly attached to their winter festivals. They understood that completely removing these traditions would be difficult, if not impossible. So rather than fighting against them, they chose a different strategy. They blended old customs with new Christian meanings. The church decided to place the celebration of Jesus' birth near the winter solstice, choosing December 25th as the official date. This allowed new Christians to continue celebrating during a familiar time of year, but with a different purpose. It was a clever way to bring people into the Christian faith while respecting their cultural habits. Over time, traditions from Saturnalia and Yule slowly became part of Christmas. Gift-giving, feasts, candles, evergreen decorations, singing, and gatherings with friends and family all originated from these earlier winter festivals. Even the idea of a joyful, warm holiday in the darkest season comes directly from the ancient belief that winter needed a moment of light and hope. Eventually, people forgot the pagan roots of these customs. What once belonged to Saturnalia or Yule became naturally associated with Christmas, creating the rich and complex holiday we know today. When we look at modern Christmas celebrations, decorated trees, bright lights, big meals, and festive music, we are actually seeing hundreds of years of history layered together. This blending of ancient beliefs, local customs, and Christian traditions is one of the reasons why Christmas is so unique. It carries pieces of many cultures inside it, allowing people from different backgrounds to find their own meaning in the season. In this way, Christmas did not simply appear fully formed. It grew slowly, shaped by human fears, hopes, creativity, and the desire for light during the darkest time of the year.
The birth of Jesus. The story of Jesus' birth is one of the most well-known stories in the world, but many people do not realize that it is told in two different ways in the Christian Bible. These two versions appear in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke. They share the same important message, that Jesus' birth was meaningful and miraculous, but they describe different details, different characters, and even different locations. Understanding these two stories helps us see how early Christians explained the importance of Jesus to new believers. The Gospel of Matthew focuses on events that show Jesus as a powerful and significant figure. In Matthew's story, wise men from the east, often called the Magi, follow a bright star across the sky. They believe this star will lead them to a newborn king. When they reach Jerusalem, they speak with King Herod, a ruler who fears losing his power. Herod becomes worried when he hears about a new king and secretly asks the wise men to tell him where the child is. But after they find Jesus and offer him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, they receive a warning in a dream not to return to Herod. At the same time, Joseph, Mary's husband, also has a dream. In it, an angel tells him to take Mary and the baby Jesus to Egypt to protect them from Herod's plan. This creates a picture of Jesus as someone important from the moment of his birth, someone whose arrival changes the world around him. The Gospel of Luke tells a different kind of story, one that feels simpler and more humble. In this version, Mary and Joseph must travel from Nazareth to Bethlehem for a government census, a kind of population count. When they arrive, the town is crowded and there is no room in the inns. Because of this, Mary gives birth to Jesus in a simple and quiet place, possibly a stable or an animal shelter. She places the baby in a manger, a feeding container for animals. Instead of kings or wise men, Luke describes shepherds watching their sheep in the fields. Suddenly, an angel appears to them and tells them the good news that a Savior has been born. A sky full of angels celebrates this moment, and the shepherds go to see the newborn child. This story focuses on the idea that Jesus came into the world in a gentle and ordinary way, close to everyday people. These two stories may sound different, but they work together to show different sides of the same event. One story highlights Jesus' importance to leaders and nations. The other shows his closeness to regular people. In ancient times, storytelling was not about giving exact historical details. It was about teaching meaning. The early Christians who wrote these Gospels wanted to show what Jesus represented, not to record every fact the way a modern historian would. This is why some details do not match what we know from other ancient records. For example, historians have not found strong evidence that King Herod ordered the killing of many baby boys in Bethlehem, as Matthew describes. Also, the Bible never says Jesus was born on December 25th. That date was chosen hundreds of years later by church leaders. They placed Christmas during the winter season to help new Christians connect their faith with familiar festivals like Saturnalia and Yule. What truly mattered to the early writers was the message that Jesus' birth was extraordinary and that his life carried deep spiritual meaning. Both Matthew and Luke include the idea of a miraculous birth. They say that Mary was a virgin when she became pregnant, which symbolized that Jesus was not just another child, but someone connected to God in a special way. These details were not meant to explain biology, but to express belief and faith. Today, when people read the Christmas story, they may picture shepherds, angels, stars, wise men, and a humble stable. These images come from combining Matthew's and Luke's stories into one larger tradition. Over time, art, plays, songs, and decorations helped shape this combined version, making it familiar to people everywhere. Whether someone celebrates Christmas for religious reasons or cultural ones, the story of Jesus' birth continues to be a powerful symbol of hope, simplicity, and new beginnings. It reminds people of kindness, humility, and the importance of caring for those who have little. In this way, the ancient story still speaks to the modern world, carrying a message that has lasted for more than 2,000 years.
4. Christmas lost and found. After the early Christian period, Christmas did not remain a quiet or gentle holiday. In fact, during the Middle Ages, it transformed into something much larger and much louder than most people imagine today. Instead of peaceful gatherings, Christmas became a season filled with noise, laughter, music, and sometimes even chaos. For many communities, it was the biggest celebration of the year, lasting for 12 full days, from Christmas Day to a festival called Epiphany. During these 12 days, ordinary life changed completely. People enjoyed large feasts with roasted meats, sweet breads, and warm spiced drinks. Villages and towns held plays and dances, and musicians performed in the streets. Homes and churches were decorated with holly, ivy, and evergreen plants that symbolized life continuing through the winter. This lively atmosphere brought people together and offered a break from the difficult winter months. One of the most interesting traditions from this period was the selection of the Lord of Misrule, a person chosen to lead the festivities. This lord was often someone from a lower social class, such as a servant or a young boy. For a short time, this person had the power to give playful commands, make jokes about important people, and create fun or mischief. The idea behind this role was to turn society upside down for a moment, giving everyone a chance to laugh and forget strict rules. It created a sense of freedom and humor during a dark and cold time of year. However, not everyone approved of these celebrations. As religious ideas changed and new groups gained influence, some people began to criticize Christmas traditions. The most famous group that opposed Christmas celebrations were the Puritans. The Puritans were a strict Protestant movement in England during the 1600s. They believed that people should live simple, disciplined lives focused on prayer, hard work, and moral behavior. To them, the loud and joyful Christmas celebrations looked sinful, wasteful, and disrespectful. They argued that the Bible did not command Christians to celebrate Christmas at all. They also believed that many Christmas customs came from pagan festivals, not from Christian teachings. Because of these strong beliefs, the Puritans decided that Christmas should not be celebrated. In 1652, the English government, heavily influenced by Puritan leaders, banned Christmas celebrations entirely. It became illegal to hold Christmas feasts, attend Christmas plays, or take part in holiday gatherings. Soldiers even patrolled the streets to stop people from celebrating. Many families tried to honor Christmas quietly in their homes, but doing so came with risk. The ban on Christmas did not stay only in England. It traveled with the Puritans to the American colonies, particularly in New England. In places like Massachusetts, celebrating Christmas was discouraged or even punished. For many years, Christmas almost disappeared in these communities. It was viewed as a dangerous mix of old pagan rituals and inappropriate behavior. But despite the laws and strict attitudes, Christmas did not die. Ordinary people still remembered the joy, warmth, and meaning of the holiday. They kept small traditions alive, sometimes in secret, and passed them down to their children. Over time, the Puritans' influence weakened, and the ban was eventually lifted. When it returned, Christmas began to grow again, but it did not return to its old form immediately. Instead, the world was ready for a new kind of Christmas, one that would focus more on family, generosity, and love rather than wild public celebrations. This long journey shows that Christmas has never been a fixed holiday. It was shaped, lost, changed, and found again across many centuries. Each period of history added something new or took something away, creating the rich and layered holiday that people celebrate today. Christmas survived because people continued to find meaning in it, even when the world around them tried to change or erase it. 5. The Christmas we know today. By the 1800s, Christmas had gone through many transformations. First, a winter festival, then a Christian holy day, later a wild public celebration, and at one point even a banned holiday. But during the 19th century, Christmas experienced perhaps its most important rebirth. It became quieter, warmer, more emotional, and more centered on home and family. This new version of Christmas is the one most people recognize today. One of the biggest influences on this transformation was the famous writer Charles Dickens. In 1843, he published A Christmas Carol, a story that changed how millions of people thought about the holiday. Dickens told the tale of Ebenezer Scrooge, a lonely, greedy man who hated Christmas. Through supernatural visits and deep self-reflection, Scrooge learns the value of kindness, generosity, and compassion. He discovers that caring for others is the true meaning of the holiday. The story touched the hearts of readers everywhere. It inspired people to see Christmas as a time to give, help, forgive, and reconnect with loved ones. A Christmas Carol taught that even in a busy world, people still have the power to choose goodness. Dickens's message spread quickly, shaping the emotional spirit of Christmas for generations to come. While Dickens influenced the meaning of Christmas, another important shift happened in how people celebrated it at home, thanks to Queen Victoria and Prince Albert of England. Prince Albert, who came from Germany, brought with him the tradition of the Christmas tree. In Germany, families decorated evergreen trees with candles, sweets, and small ornaments during the holiday season.
This tradition was not common in England until the royal family embraced it. When a picture of Queen Victoria, Prince Albert, and their children standing around a beautifully decorated Christmas tree appeared in newspapers in the 1840s, people fell in love with the idea. Almost overnight, Christmas trees became a popular symbol of the holiday. Soon they appeared in homes across England and eventually in America too.
The Christmas tree represented warmth, family togetherness, and the beauty of bringing light into the dark winter. As these traditions grew, Christmas became a quieter celebration focused on family life. Instead of public festivals and wild gatherings, people now spent the holiday at home with their closest loved ones. Parents gave small gifts to their children, families cooked special meals, sang songs, and decorated their homes. Christmas became a moment of peace in a world that was rapidly industrializing and changing. For many, it was a comforting pause, an opportunity to slow down and appreciate the people who mattered most. During this period, other customs also developed and became part of the Christmas tradition. Greeting cards became popular, allowing people to share warm wishes even across long distances. Christmas carols returned to popularity, filling churches and homes with music. Baking holiday treats, hanging stockings, and exchanging thoughtful gifts all became traditions that families looked forward to each year. As time passed, Christmas grew into a holiday full of symbols and rituals that blended older traditions with new ideas. It became a holiday about remembering the simple joys of life: love, generosity, hope, and connection. Even as society modernized and cultures mixed, the emotional heart of Christmas stayed the same. It reminded people to think about others, to reflect on the past year, and to celebrate small moments of happiness. The Christmas we know today is the result of many centuries of change. It carries pieces of ancient festivals, early Christian stories, medieval celebrations, royal customs, and literary inspiration. Yet, despite this complex history, Christmas remains one of the most cherished holidays in the world. It is a reminder that traditions evolve, cultures grow, and people continue to shape the meaning of the holidays they love. Santa, stories, and shopping. The modern image of Santa Claus feels so familiar today that it is easy to forget he has not always looked this way. The Santa we imagine, a joyful man in a red suit with a snowy white beard delivering gifts in a magical sleigh, were shaped slowly, over many years, by stories, poems, cultures, and eventually businesses. His roots go back to an old Dutch figure named Sinterklaas, a kind and generous saint who gave gifts to children. When Dutch settlers arrived in North America, especially in New Amsterdam, which later became New York City, they brought their Sinterklaas traditions with them. Over time, the name changed, the traditions blended with English customs, and Santa Claus began to take shape. A turning point came in 1823 with the poem A Visit from St. Nicholas, also known as The Night Before Christmas. This poem introduced many features we now consider essential to Santa's image. It described Santa as a cheerful, round man who traveled in a sleigh pulled by reindeer. It imagined him coming down chimneys with a sack full of toys. These details quickly became beloved parts of holiday storytelling. Families read the poem every Christmas, and children imagined the magical visit from Santa on Christmas Eve. As the years passed, businesses began to notice how much people loved Santa Claus and how powerful he was as a symbol of holiday excitement. In the late 1800s, department stores started using Santa in their advertisements. Big stores created elaborate Santa displays, invited children to meet him, and even organized parades to signal the beginning of the Christmas shopping season. These events made shopping feel like part of the celebration.
Families began to look forward not only to Christmas Day, but also to the festive streets, decorated windows, and joyful atmosphere created by these stores. One of the most famous examples of this was the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in the United States.
Santa Claus appearing at the end of the parade became a tradition that officially marked the start of the holiday shopping season. People came to watch the floats, the music, and finally Santa himself, who signaled that Christmas was just around the corner. But perhaps the biggest transformation of Santa's image came from a source many people would not expect: a soft drink company. In the 1930s, Coca-Cola launched a major advertising campaign using Santa Claus. They hired an artist named Haddon Sundblom to paint Santa for their holiday ads. Sundblom's paintings showed Santa as warm, friendly, and full of life. He wore a bright red suit trimmed with white fur and had a round belly, twinkling eyes, and a joyful smile. Although Santa had appeared in red before, Sundblom's version became the most widely recognized image. These paintings appeared in magazines, posters, and billboards across the United States and eventually around the world. They helped fix Santa's appearance in the public imagination. Coca-Cola did not invent the red suit, but their repeated images made it iconic. As Santa grew more popular, Christmas shopping grew with him. Stores realized that Santa represented generosity, excitement, and childhood wonder, all emotions that encouraged people to buy gifts. The holiday season became the biggest shopping period of the entire year. Advertisers used cheerful music, colorful decorations, and Santa's smiling face to create a sense of magic and urgency. People began to feel that giving gifts, many gifts, was an essential part of celebrating Christmas. This didn't mean the holiday lost its deeper meanings, but it did add a strong commercial side that is still present today. Christmas became both a spiritual celebration and a major economic event. Today, Santa stands at the center of these two worlds. He represents joy, imagination, and the spirit of giving. But he is also a symbol of the huge holiday shopping culture that shapes the modern season. This combination of myth, history, and marketing makes Santa Claus one of the most recognizable figures in the world. His story shows how traditions change, adapt, and grow, just like Christmas itself. 7. Why Christmas still matters. Today, Christmas is surrounded by advertisements, crowded stores, and endless lists of things to buy. Many people worry that the holiday has become too commercial, too focused on presents and decorations. And yet, despite all of this, Christmas remains one of the most meaningful and emotionally powerful celebrations in the world. Even in a modern age filled with noise and distractions, Christmas still matters deeply to billions of people. Why? One reason is that Christmas gives us something rare: a pause. In our daily lives, we are often busy with school, work, responsibilities, and digital stress. Days can feel rushed, and weeks can disappear quickly. Christmas interrupts this routine. It asks people to slow down, to step away from ordinary tasks, and to spend time in a different way. Offices close, schools go on break, and entire cities shift into a gentler rhythm. For many, this quiet time is a chance to breathe, reflect, and reset. It is a moment when families and friends finally gather without the pressure of schedules. This alone makes Christmas feel special and necessary. Another reason Christmas still matters is its power to reconnect people. The holiday brings together family members who might live far apart: grandparents, cousins, children studying in other states, adults with busy jobs. People plan trips, share meals, tell stories, and laugh around the table. These moments strengthen bonds and remind us that human connection is essential for well-being. Even small traditions like decorating a tree or baking cookies create shared memories that last for years. In a world where loneliness is becoming more common, Christmas offers togetherness in a way few other holidays do. Christmas also arrives at a dark time of year, especially in the Northern Hemisphere. The days are short, the nights are long, and the cold can feel endless. For thousands of years, people have responded to this winter darkness with light. Candles, fires, lanterns, and today, twinkling Christmas lights that brighten homes and entire streets. These lights carry a powerful message. Even in the darkest time of year, there is warmth, hope, and beauty. This symbolic brightness lifts people's spirits and reminds them that better days are coming. This ancient connection to light is one of the deepest reasons Christmas continues to feel magical. But Christmas is not only about comfort and celebration. It also invites people to think about what truly matters. Even for those who are not religious, the themes of Christmas, kindness, generosity, compassion, and goodwill touch something universal. The holiday encourages people to help others, donate to charities, visit neighbors, and be more patient and understanding. It inspires acts of giving that go beyond wrapped presents. Christmas helps people look beyond their own worries and notice the needs of those around them. This emotional and moral reflection makes the holiday feel meaningful on a deeper level. At the same time, Christmas connects us to the past. Traditions passed down through generations, songs, recipes, decorations, create a bridge between old and new. You may hang an ornament that your grandparents used, or cook a dish your family has shared for decades. These traditions remind us of the people who came before us and help us feel grounded in our own family history. In a rapidly changing world, this sense of continuity can be comforting and stabilizing. So even though Christmas includes shopping, advertisements, and commercial excitement, the heart of the holiday remains strong. It brings light into darkness, connection into loneliness, and reflection into busy lives. It gives people a chance to gather, to rest, and to remember what matters most. And that is why Christmas continues to matter, not just as a holiday, but as a moment of human warmth and meaning in a world that often forgets to slow down. 8. What's next for Christmas? Christmas has changed many times throughout history, and it will continue to evolve as the world around us transforms. But what exactly might Christmas look like in the future? One possibility is even stronger globalization. Christmas traditions that began in Europe and America may spread further across Asia, Africa, and South America. Different cultures may add their own customs, foods, and symbols, creating new versions of the holiday. This could make Christmas more diverse and colorful than ever before. Another potential future is a more secular Christmas. As more people focus on family gatherings rather than religious meaning, the holiday may become centered on togetherness, kindness, and community rather than the birth story of Jesus. Traditions like trees, lights, and gift exchanges would likely stay, but the emotional purpose might feel more universal, about connection rather than religion. At the same time, technology will certainly shape the way people celebrate. Virtual gatherings may become more common, allowing families separated by long distances to share moments in real time. Artificial intelligence might help people create personalized gifts or decorations, and digital experiences could become a new part of the season. Yet, there is also a growing desire to return to simplicity. Some people may choose smaller celebrations with fewer gifts, focusing on meaning instead of material things. Others may look for environmentally friendly ways to celebrate, using sustainable decorations or reducing waste during the holidays. Despite these changes, Christmas is unlikely to disappear. The holiday fulfills deep human needs, the desire to gather, to rest, to bring light into darkness, and to show love through giving. These needs are timeless. Christmas may look different 50 years from now, but its spirit will remain the same. A moment each year that brings warmth, hope, and connection in a world that always needs more of all three.
Christmas has traveled a long road, from ancient winter festivals to a global celebration filled with light, warmth, and meaning. It has been shaped by religion, family traditions, literature, and even modern advertising. And yet, no matter how much Christmas changes on the outside, its heart stays the same. It remains a moment when people pause, breathe, and reconnect with what truly matters. Whether you celebrate it for spiritual reasons, cultural reasons, or simply because it brings joy, Christmas continues to remind us of kindness, generosity, and hope. As the world evolves, the holiday will evolve too, but its message, light in darkness, togetherness in loneliness, meaning in the middle of everyday life, will always remain. Thank you so much for learning with us today. If you enjoyed this lesson and discovered something new, please take a moment to like the video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more educational stories and improve your English in fun and meaningful ways. Merry Christmas, and see you in the next lesson.
Thanks! Please subscribe and like. Spin a new yarn with us every week. See you there!